or when we're in there writing it and working on it, then I always look forward to getting out and trying it out live on people. It's kind of grass is always greener scenario. So.
10,000 Days receives the Grammy Award for Best Recording Package. The album includes stereoscopic lenses to view the album art in 3D and was developed by the artist Alex Gray.
In the 10,000 Days album, we went back and forth a little bit. He had the idea of the stereoptoscope and the 3D. Then I said, well, why don't I just show you what I'm working on right now in the studio? And that was the Net of Being painting. We both imagined seeing it in 3D and stuff like that. And so he said, that's it, got to use that somehow.
Alex's art really kind of like, we're like, oh man, because he explores that, what's different about everyone, what's the same about everyone, what are the different spiritualities, what are the different, that's to me what sacred geometry is, what are those things in nature are harmonious and why are they harmonious and what do we have in common?
What can we expect of the new videos? Because you also always have the coolest animated videos. Can we expect more of that?
More of that.
Yeah?
More genius videos will definitely be down the pipe.
Cool.
We got good guys helping us. We have a team that's been with us for a long time, so they work well together. We got Alex Grace helping us out. This genius shaman, painter, visionary. So that always helps.
In the Vicarious video, that was, I think, the most intense collaboration. Probably, except for working with my wife, probably the most intense collaboration I've ever done with any artist.
Something we've always kind of played with were ideas of like sacred geometry and taking major ideas or taking stuff that's like harmonious in the world, actions between people or the conscious collective or just, different thinking or physical traits or repeating patterns in nature and try to simplify those ideas down to the simplest shapes, colors, sounds, vibrations, and then build it back up. So it's basically based on that, and again, it's what we do, the four of us do as a band.
How do you know a song is finished?
You don't. You can keep going forever on them. It's a matter of acceptance, really. You just accept yourself for being as lame as you are at this point in time. Okay, I can live with this. Otherwise, you would never finish a record. So you're just going to have to live with it the way it is and get on with it.
It is about repetition. The more you start going over these pieces and over these pieces, there's things that feel right about them and feel wrong about them, and the wrong spots will correct. And before we actually go into the recording process, we've actually played these songs so many times and had so much repetition with it that we know them inside and out. So you can eliminate a lot of those problem areas before you get to the recording situation.
It seems like you've been a bit more straightforward with your lyrics than you usually are. What's the reason for this?
I don't know. I think the lyrics Maynard writes are pretty consistent on all the things. I think they can be interpreted on a lot of different levels, so you have to kind of be open to that aspect of it. But I don't know. To me, I think Maynard dug in a little deeper even this time, But he writes all the lyrics. We don't tell him what to sing. So he doesn't tell us what to play. So that's kind of his department more, and they're there to reinforce the music. The music always comes first.
After finishing the 10,000 Days tour and taking some time off in 2008, the members of the band started to work on other creative projects and dedicated time to their families. Tool continued doing live shows, but less and less frequently. Finally, after 13 years of not releasing new material, the band entered the studio in March 2019.
You guys broke some records releasing them all at once. A number of tracks at the top of the charts, and then I think, Fear Inoculum was the first song over 10 minutes to hit the, Billboard Hot 100, I think.
Hot 100.
The Hot 100, yeah.
Yeah. No, awesome. I mean, it's been really, honestly, it's been really exciting and
it's probably interesting because all the counters get set to 0. You release all your music. I don't know if it's interesting to you to see what songs actually.
Well, yeah, I know Lateralis, the album, is still in the iTunes album charts in the top 20. It's been there for 3 weeks, which is really blowing my mind. It's exciting. You know, we just played a tour. We went to Europe and we played a bunch of festivals. We headlined them and did our own shows as well. And doing our own shows in Europe, like after 10 or 11 years or something, they're doubled or tripled in size without us actually having released anything. And this was before we released all our catalogue. So it's just a very fortunate moment, really, for everything to collide in this way. And I think, you know, you can feel the impetus with like the relief of finishing our new album, and like, it's just all it's sort of like a perfect storm, I guess you would call it.
Up to this point, Tool never wanted to be available on streaming services. But with the arrival of Fear Inoculum, released in August 2019, it was a necessary step to take. Finally, Tool decided to release their entire catalog on digital platforms, becoming #1 on the US Billboard 200 charts, displacing pop artist Taylor Swift.
We have this new thing called digital media and streaming. We're going to try it out.
So not only do you guys have a new album, but you also have sort of rebirthed all your songs into the world.
Yeah.
After being resistant for a while, are you guys content with being in the streaming world now?
I mean, it's pretty epic. The last couple of weeks have been incredible. But we really put a lot of effort into this release. Bob Ludwig up in Portland, Maine, he also remastered all the old records for the digital format.
Catalog goes up on all digital and streaming.
He's doing this. So up until this time, you never have had anything up and available.
No.
You know, with the format thing, I mean, obviously we had to take it into consideration because we were kind of this dinosaur leftover thing that was. We signed a 5-record deal that was based around CDs back when we signed it, and now it got to this point, you know, to accomplish the finality of the releasing this record, we had to negotiate the whole digital domain.
So why have you guys not had anything on streaming up until this moment?
I can't. I love my brothers. I'm just going to take the fifth on that one.
I can't even imagine how he comes up with what he does, because what a nightmare, you know? What a nightmare to walk into. And he absolutely just like blew my mind every time on every song on this album. He just did something, you know, amazing and unexpected and transcendental, you know, and just elevated the whole, you know, what we were doing. We thought was like already quite fantastic. Made it incredible.
Doing vocals was, you know, basically 6 days because he was pretty well prepared. 6 days of wine drinking and olive picking and cutting vocals. It was awesome, actually. It was a good break. Maynard's vocals are always like the treat, like the icing on the cake to me. And it kind of made sense. Like, I didn't really hear a ton of vocals on the first round of demos I got. And then when I heard what he was doing, it all made sense to me. On this album, the drummer, Danny Carey, and I, we talked about, because he integrated a rototom into his drum kit. And so I started going back and listening to all his influences. Bill Bruford and, you know, Billy Cobham and a lot of the Spectrums and Alphonse Mouzon and so many incredible, you know, records that we listened to. Emerson, Lake and Palmer. So a lot of that prog influence actually prompted the idea of maybe cutting in a second drum kit. So on that song, at the 3/4 point, it goes to his drum kit when he was, I was like, let's bring in another kit and do the second half of the song with another drum kit, thinking it might be a smaller kit. But he actually brought in his kit when he was 15 years old, which was a 12-piece Ludwig stainless steel kit with 10 toms, all like mounted in pairs on like a single stand back then, you know, and they were all concert toms. So I actually remember the drum tech and I working for hours getting these basically paint cans to sound like cannons. The studio we were at also used to bake us these chocolate chip cookies all the time. So it was an extra little special treat. I put on a few pounds as well. And Danny called his drum solo on the album Chocolate Chip Trip, based on the fact that all we did was eat chocolate chip cookies. The solo itself was pretty awesome. He always does like a synthesizer thing and he gets behind the drum kit and plays to it. And Dan would actually start working on the synthesizer and get that going, and then he'd get behind his normal drum kit and play to the synth. And then he'd get up and run across the room and play on the second kit. So it was actually quite funny to see.
The entire Chocolate Chip Trip is in sevens, like going beyond into the world of seven, and then taking it as far as I can. But it is my ode to Billy Cava because I love that guy. He took me to a better place, and that's it.
When we were tracking, we always like to set up the room so it's visual. Dan's got like some geometry thing behind him, and there's always a PA and candles, and it's very vibey. I remember the drum tech, Bruce Jacoby, was in front of the console, and I saw this look of panic in his face, and I was like, what is going on? And all of a sudden, he just bolts out of the control room through this back door, and he gets behind Danny's drum kit, where I guess Dan was playing with such power that one of the candles fell over on his floor tom and started burning the floor tom. So the head of the floor tom went on fire, and there's sprinklers in the ceiling, so we were trying to get the fire out before the sprinklers went off, and then the whole recording would be ruined. So that was one of the most insane moments, actually.
There's a song called Tempest where I do a 4.5-minute solo in. Really a crazy song to write because it's 3 rounds of 7. It's 21.
Wow.
It's a riff in 21. And you gotta remember our drummer, who's the best drummer in the world. And I tell people that, like when I was a kid, Rush, I used to be like, best drummer, Neil Peart. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Best drummer in the world. Now I go, I'm in a band with the best drummer in the world. We were recording, and we had a few drummers come in, John from System and a couple others, and they all kind of said the same thing at some point. We play the track and they go, is that just one drumming? Like one, is that takes or like tracks level, like multi tracks? And they go, no, that's just Danny playing. Jeez. And they go, oh my God, he's just an alien. I mean, he's the only guy I know can just, do like 3 different polyrhythm beats at the same time, foot, hand, other hand, and I always tell a story when Justin and I bring the riffs in when we jam, and Danny will just start playing the most opposite polyrhythm kind of thing to it, to the point where I'll forget how to play the riff I wrote. And I have to go, Danny, please play simpler.
Quit overplaying.
Yeah, no. But that's the magic of Tool,
Sure.
It's just kind of... But anyway, the song I was talking about is, it's in 21.
What's it called again?
Tempest.
Tempest, yeah.
Yeah. And Maynard spelled it with a 7 because we have like all this 7 kind of weird stuff happening with the record, and just thought it was important. I just hope people like it.
Wow. Kind of renews my faith in humankind to know there's long attention spans left out there that can listen to a 12-minute song. My bandmates, Justin, Adam, and Maynard, who I couldn't do anything without. They're my crutches.
Bless you. I'd like to thank everybody that works for us and helps us do what we do, makes it easy along the way. See you in another 12 years.